Good day, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much to talk about with the market today. So in this video, I'm going to run through some technical analysis, talk about what I see happening both short-term and long-term, explain why I'm selling everything and what I mean by that, and explain what I think is going to be happening with Ethereum, both in the short-term and in the long-term. So, folks, if you like the sound of that, I want to ask you to please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. As I was saying, back within this wedge here, back within this pennant, if we got above this green line here, we would like to see bullish continuation, and we have. Not only have we seen bullish continuation and broken above this wedge here slash descending triangle, we have gotten above critical resistance in the low $17 range. So now we can turn this previous resistance red box into a support green box. Previous resistance, whenever we break above, then acts as support moving forward. Folks, Ethereum is on a tear. It looks like it's just a matter of time. It seems like we're going to be testing $1,800 very soon here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we react off this range here. Lots of volume starting to build up around 1,800. We can see that 1,800 both here and here, very price reactive levels. We got wicked off these regions quite a few times. So this is a very price reactive level with a lot of volume. So I would expect Ethereum to have some kind of pause at around the $1,800 level. The question is, will it be a pause or will it be a rejection where we fall back down to retest some support levels? So to understand what's going to happen with Ethereum, it's important to understand what's happening with Bitcoin. Bitcoin leads the market. Whatever Bitcoin does will bring the rest of them, will affect the rest of the market. So 51,300 to 400 was a very price reactive level. We can see here with the first initial sell-off, we tried to pump back up, and 41,400 was exactly where we got rejected. Very price reactive zone. As we can see with this sideways price action here, that is now acting as resistance. So can we get above this level? If we can start to get above and close above 51,400, I think we see bullish continuation with Bitcoin. And just to kind of finish off, I think the most important support level for Bitcoin is the 50 simple moving average on the daily. We can see the last time we pumped and dumped, the 50 simple moving average on the daily is exactly where we found support, exactly where we stopped dumping, and exactly where we started pumping. So moving forward, it's going to be a very relevant support. I think this is the lowest level Bitcoin could fall to and still remain short-term bullish. Now, folks, Bitcoin dominance, it is doing something very interesting. Bitcoin dominance is very good to try and understand what the altcoins such as Ethereum are likely to do. Bitcoin dominance keeps flirting with around the 60 percentile range. So for those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is the total value of Bitcoin in comparison to the total value of all cryptocurrency. Whenever it rises, altcoins typically suffer. Whenever it falls, altcoins typically benefit. If and when we can start to close below 60% on Bitcoin dominance and get within this green range here and fall below it, but even within this green range, I think that is when we see things like Ethereum really start to take off in a major way. Giant news story we've gotten recently: the Americans have passed nearly a $2 trillion stimulus. I believe it's passed in the Senate, still needs to go to the House and still be signed by the president. So it's not a guarantee, but it has passed the Senate. If this actually fully passes, from my understanding, by the time you guys are watching this, things could have changed. Things could have progressed, but this would be an extremely bullish catalyst for the markets. The markets have already reacted well. The stock market is having a bit of an upswing today as well. The crypto markets look well. But folks, bring it back to Ethereum here. Large macro bullish events for Ethereum. But what do I mean when I'm selling everything? Well, folks, I recently sold all my Bitcoin in order to purchase more Ethereum. I now no longer own any Bitcoin, and in order to purchase more Ethereum. Why did I do this? Well, I'm an Ethereum fanboy. I love Ethereum for so many reasons. It's likely to be, in my opinion, the king in terms of the interoperable, scalable smart contract ecosystem. It has first mover advantage. The vast majority of users, the vast majority of value locked in its ecosystem, the vast majority of developers, and so I think Ethereum has a massive advantage over some of its competitors that play in similar niches and do a similar thing, but with EIP 1559 recently being greenlit. For those who don't know, EIP 1559 stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal 1559. in which it will make Ethereum deflationary. So right now, there's actually no cap on how much Ethereum can be produced. The current supply is 114, 115 million, and up until 1559, there's no cap on the total supply of Ethereum. But once EIP 1559 is introduced and implemented, which is set to happen in July 2021, summer 2021, folks, that will make Ethereum deflationary. So we have a deflationary burning mechanism being introduced where the supply of Ethereum will be burned, where instead of the gas price, whenever you make a transaction using Ethereum, you have to pay a fee. So instead of that fee going to miners, it will then go to a smart contract that will burn it, where you can't withdraw Ethereum. That's essentially how you burn things. So you send it to a contract where nothing can be withdrawn. That's how burning mechanisms exist oftentimes. So yeah, folks, with Ethereum, with a burning mechanism being introduced to Ethereum, Ethereum will now be harder money than Bitcoin because there's no burning mechanism with Bitcoin. Bitcoin just has a low supply and a lot of demand, so therefore it's very scarce. Okay, it's great, I got nothing against Bitcoin, but Ethereum will now the supply of Ethereum after EIP 1559 will decrease over time. Not to mention, Ethereum 2.0 is going to be rolling out in different phases all throughout this year and the next 2 or 3 years here. We have optimistic rollups set to launch sometime this month, which will improve the gas fees on Ethereum. We have the Berlin hard fork, which will attempt to further improve gas and efficiencies, make improvements to the Ethereum virtual machine, and improve some safety elements of Ethereum. So we have major catalysts for Ethereum this month. Another giant catalyst, another major upgrade to the gas fees next month. So major improvement to gas fees this month and next month. We have the Americans passing stimulus, very macro bullish catalyst. And then we have EIP 1559 in the summer, in July, making Ethereum deflationary. Folks, Ethereum is insanely bullish. I was saying all throughout these ranges here, I'm not doing anything but adding to my bags. Folks, we're in a bull run that is likely to end late September, early October. So we have the better part of a year ahead of us, of bull run ahead of us. So this is very early days. But to get a further sense of what's going on here in the short term, let's take a look at our indicators. We have recently gotten a bullish crossover on the daily MACD. That is a big deal. Let's zoom out and see when was the last time we had a bullish crossover in the daily MACD when we were in the oversold region. Because what happened in the past can sometimes have some bearing on what could happen in the future. So let's really zoom into when it happened right here. Right here was the last time we had a bullish crossover on the daily MACD in the oversold region, and look what led afterwards. Now, folks, like I said, we have the better part of a year of bull run ahead of us, in my opinion. So I mean, I think better days are definitely ahead of us. I do not think $2,000 is the roof for Ethereum. I would be to say extremely surprised is the understatement of is a giant understatement if Ethereum didn't reach well over $10,000 by the peak of this bull run. I think 20,000 is probably more reasonable, probably like a reasonable conservative estimate. But I personally wouldn't be surprised if Ethereum reached $30,000. But hey, I'm looking to sell based off time frames and not so much specific price targets. So whatever the market happens to give me around September, October, November is when I'll sell, regardless of price, whether Ethereum's at 5,000, 10,000, or 50,000. I'm not saying that it's gonna. I think it's very unlikely that Ethereum goes to 50,000 this cycle, but my point is, whatever the market happens to give me is when I'm going to be looking to scale out on my long-term position. So lots of interesting things to discuss here as well. One thing I'm glad I picked up on here on the daily RSI. So we are going for a bit of leg up here, but we're right up against resistance in this $1,800 region, which also lines up pretty well with the resistance level on the RSI. So perhaps we could anticipate running up against some kind of resistance here at 1800, coinciding with this red resistance line on the RSI. So if and when we can get above the RSI here and see bullish continuation, make a higher high above this red line here, red resistance line on the other side, that's when we see bullish continuation. So let's assume that maybe we go back up, get rejected off the $1,800 region, go for a bit of a leg down, maybe retest or low 1700s, and then break out and make a higher high off the 1800 region and this red resistance line here. I think that is the key thing to look out for to try and understand when we see bullish continuation with Ethereum. So very interesting to see, very important to look at moving forward. So daily does look strong. We're seeing some strength for the daily on Ethereum. Now let's look at the 12-hour here. 12-hour, everything's on the way up except the stochastic RSI is concerningly overbought, seems to want to have a bearish crossover. So for those who don't know, stochastic RSI is great for understanding shifts in trends, but not the extent of the shift in the trend. It's great for showing you when one might be, but like I've seen, a bearish or bullish crossover that results in a very small movement, and then another one that results in a very large movement. So it's just good for understanding the shifts in the trends, but not really the extent. For that, you got to look at other things. So 12-hour does look strong, except the stochastic there. And then on the 6-hour, we're starting to see some weakness, bearish crossover on the way to MACD, stochastic RSI, bearish crossover, but seems to want to have a bullish one right after. Doesn't seem to want to go down. Let's take a look at the 4. Yeah, look at that. See, the stochastic does not want to go down. It keeps trying to have that leg down, and it keeps having bullish crossovers. Does not want to go down. Even the weighted MACD, bullish crossover on the 4-hour. Excuse me. So this looks strong, except the RSI is concerningly approaching the overbought territory. So let's take a look at the 1-hour. And the 1-hour, what is the MACD saying here? Ooh, so see, even the MACD does not want to go down. Bullish crossover, weighted MACD on the way up, stochastic RSI on the way up, regular RSI. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. I'm glad I brought this up. So, interesting. Yeah, okay. We're getting lower highs in RSI paired with higher highs in price action. So that's actually very bearish to see. So let's switch over to the 1-hour. Perhaps we can see this better. So see how this peak in RSI coincides with this height in price. This peak in RSI coincides with this height in price, and this point in the RSI coincides with this high in price. So we're getting higher highs in price action paired with lower highs in RSI. So that's actually bearish. It's telling us the upward momentum is running out of steam. And again, makes sense, folks. 1800 right there, 1800, that strong resistance level. We need to get above and hold above $1,800 to see bullish continuation. That's kind of like the key inflection point to understand whether we see bullish continuation in the short term or not. So yeah, I think we may perhaps be in store for some kind of rejection, some kind of leg down, some at around the 1800 region. So let's finish off here with the half hour. Yeah, not a whole lot more interesting. So, larger time frames certainly look bullish. Lower time frames, we're seeing some sign of some possible weakness. Ultimately, I think it's just the $1,800 is the clear region that we need to get above to see bullish continuation. From 1720 to about 1700 was previous resistance. Now that we've broken above, we've acted as support. So if we can possibly expect a rejection off 1800, maybe go for that leg down and hover around these regions. To understand what I think could be the next big move with Ethereum, I love looking at the pairings, the Ethereum Bitcoin pairings. Oh my God, folks! This is so technically beautiful. The Ethereum Bitcoin pairing has been reacting exactly off my support and resistance areas for days, if not weeks at this point. Folks, I'm telling you, you got to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon notified of new uploads. We've been killing it. Look how beautifully we've been reacting off ranges drawn from days and weeks ago. Found support exactly where predicted. Found resistance exactly where predicted. Broke out and fell back down and found support exactly where predicted. Found rejection exactly where predicted. Folks, so this red area here was acting as previous resistance. We were within this tight range. I was saying we can't move in this space forever. Whatever we break out of this thing will be very telling for the US dollar value of Ethereum. And I was right. It was this breakout above this region that led to our breakout from above our wedge / descending triangle here. So we're now up against significant resistance from the kind of like the 3.5 to about the 3.4. So once we can get above and hold above these regions, I think that is the cue that we see bullish continuation in the US dollar value of Ethereum. So this is going to be a very important chart moving forward to try and understand what Ethereum can do. As well, the DXY, the dollar index, the dollar almost has a direct inverse correlation with Bitcoin, because whenever the dollar rises, other currencies, including Bitcoin and crypto, typically suffers. Whenever the dollar falls, other currencies, including Bitcoin and crypto, typically benefits. It's because of the pairings. It's almost a direct correlation, like a direct inverse correlation. So the DXY has been pumping quite a bit as of late, while crypto has been correcting. It's almost like there's a correlation. So, but we're right up against the resistance from these ranges here. All this sideways price action since we broke back down and now we're falling back up to retest it. I think this whole range here is going to act as resistance. So we could possibly anticipate some kind of rejection with the DXY in the near future here in the next few days. And again, you should care about this because this is going to have an effect on the crypto markets. Because if we find rejection off these regions here, off the sideways price action and this 200 daily moving average and go for that leg down, that's just going to be another catalyst that alleviates some sell pressure on the crypto markets and will allow the crypto markets to pump further. So very important chart to look at to try and understand what the crypto markets are going to do next. And also, while I start wrapping up this video here, I want to mention one very important chart to try and understand some of my approach when it comes to my Ethereum long-term price prediction. So if we look at the previous cycle, the last cycle, Ethereum reached its peak roughly a month after Bitcoin. So again, I think something similar is going to happen this cycle where Bitcoin's going to reach its top and then Ethereum is likely to reach its top roughly a month after Bitcoin because that's what happened last cycle. And if we also look at the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, we can see that last cycle, Ethereum reached over 12% of Bitcoin's price at the peak. So if this time we just assume that Ethereum has a good chance of reaching, 10%, 9%, 8% of Bitcoin's price at the peak. And I think Bitcoin has a good chance of reaching several hundreds of thousands of dollars, 1, 2, 300,000. I think is very reasonable for Bitcoin. I think Ethereum has a very good chance of reaching well over $10,000 by the peak of this bull run. I think we're not likely to see. I think we're likely to see the vast majority of parabolic growth with the market near the end, the last few months. So, September, October, November. I think that is when it's probably likeliest that we see Ethereum reach its peak, and probably near the end where we see the vast majority of parabolic growth. So, folks, I have a long-term outlook when it comes to investing. I understand that the long-term carries and holds the most gains. So I hope some of you consider having a long-term outlook because this market is insanely volatile in the short term. If you're a new person, there's going to be dozens of more corrections before this bull run is over, or half a dozen more corrections before this bull run is over. So, I mean, if you don't have a trading plan or investment plan, a strategy that you can stick to, it's just a matter of time before you get shaken out, and you're going to be constantly tempted to time the market, buy and sell every top and every dip. And if you're a new person trying to call every top and bottom of the market with your long-term positions, I mean, good luck to you. I don't even try and do that. The only thing I do, and I do this like literally full time, so the only thing I do is add to my bags when things fall. I do not touch my long-term positions. I have an account for trading, an account, and I have my long-term bags. The two things are separate. So point being, just the point I want to get across is that this is a long-term game. I do believe in the long term. Ethereum has a very good chance of reaching the tens of thousands of dollars this cycle, but because nobody knows for sure, I think it's much better to sell based off timeframes. And if you want to understand why I say September, October, I think is the end of the bull run, join our Discord. Link for that down in the description below. In our Discord group, we have resources sections where we post investing resources, trading resources, and just general crypto resources. And we've posted a chart by Trading Shot who broke down the Bitcoin cycles quite well. So Bitcoin moves in these 4-year cycles based off the halvings. That's why we have these boom and bust cycles, these bear and bull cycles. It's all because of the halvings. And based off the last halving, Bitcoin is likely to reach its peak late September this year. So that's what I'm basing my long-term trading strategy off of in my long-term selling strategy. So again, come late third quarter, early fourth quarter, that's when I'll start scaling out slowly over time, and whatever the market happens to give me, that's when I'll be looking to scale out of Ethereum. So folks, these are the key support and resistance ranges to look out for. Make sure you follow the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing. Make sure you follow the DXY, the dollar index, Bitcoin dominance, and Bitcoin. It's important to understand what is going on with Ethereum. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, folks, take care.